Ashley Howard with Ashley Howard Teaches, and we are on CC Cycle 2, Week 22, 5th edition Tutor Plans. If you're just now joining me, I am so excited. I hope you'll hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so that you don't miss anything in your homeschool journey. I have so many exciting things to tell you about tutor planning, about homeschool curriculum reviews, homeschool mom ideas, so many things, so don't miss out. And also, don't forget to stick around to the very end because I have some fun review game ideas for you. Alright, so let's get started, but before we do, one more thing. Will you leave a comment below? Let me know how many kids are you homeschooling in your house. I'd love to hear if you have a big family, smaller families, and anything that you want help with as far as curriculum. Is it spelling curriculum that you struggle with, history, math? Let me know in the comments below. I absolutely love to hear from you. Alright, so let's get started. So today we are going to start with math. Alright, so for math this week, we're doing the commutative law of addition and multiplication. So what I like to do is get some paper plates out at home. I'll have my Sharpie, and I will write all the different things for commutative law for addition and commutative law for multiplication. So I'll have an A on this plate, I'll have a B, plus sign, and I'll have all of those ready, and I'll have equals and then B plus A. So that it's all ready for my board, and then what I'll do is I'll put these on the board, and I'll have them come, and first they're gonna use pointers. So I'll just have a bag of fun pointers, maybe a puppet, maybe a pointer hand, some different things, and they're gonna come up and they're gonna touch these as they go along and say them, so each student will get to take a turn. And then what I'll do is I'll pull them off the board because I'll put magnets on the back of them so that they kind of stick, or maybe painter's tape on the back. And then each class member will get to hold one of the plates, and they have to get in the right order as they say them. So it makes it kind of fun. And then we'll do the same thing for the commutative law for multiplication. So that's our hands-on for our math this week. You can also throw in silly voices and kind of make it more fun with that as well. All right, so let's move on to history. All right, so for history this week, we're gonna start out with 1989. So we're gonna put our 9 fingers up. And then for communist dictators, we're just gonna take a spin around. It's kind of a slow song, so you need motions that kind of take up a little bit of time. And then for began to fall, we're gonna start to fall to the ground. And then we're gonna make a sign language E and another sign language E for Eastern Europe. And then for general, we're going to go like this with our hand on our head. And then for refused, we're gonna go like this with our arms. And then for send, we're gonna go like this, like we're sending mail out like this. And then for military, we're gonna get our little gun fingers out like this. So we're gonna go military aid like this. All right, and those are our hand motions for our history sentence this week. Now, to make our history more fun, here's what we're going to do. So for this one, we're gonna play popcorn history. So we're gonna sit in a circle, and we're gonna really remember our history sentence this week. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go through and we're gonna say it a couple times, and I'll let them know their words. And then I'm gonna throw the ball to each of them in order, and they're gonna say their part of the history sentence. So we'll go through that a couple times, and then I'm gonna have them switch their words. That way they're knowing 2 parts of the history sentence really well. So we'll go through that. If we have time for another round where they can learn some more words, that's great too. But I love how they'll get excited because it's their turn. Or if you think the ball takes too long and sometimes it can kind of fly off, you can just have a pointer and you point to them as they go along, and they each fill in their blank of the history sentence, and we're all kind of singing it together, but that person is saying their parts. All right, so that is our history this week. I hope you have fun with it. So let's move on to English. All right, this week for English, we are doing coordinating conjunctions. So when you put the first letter, that spells fanboys, so it makes it super easy for them to remember. So what I like to do is assign each student a coordinating conjunction, and then in a bag, a little fun bag, I have the different actions for them to do. They're really simple actions like snap or clap, or you can do funny ones like be your favorite animal or something like that. But as they go along, you're going to point to them. Again, they're going to get in a circle, and you might point to them and they say for, and they snap. And then the next one is and they clap up high. And then someone is the next one and they clap down low. And then after they're done going through those, they're going to switch with a partner their action. So they get a new action each time you go through them. So that makes it kind of fun. Each time they're going to say the same coordinating conjunction, but they're going to do a different action. That way it doesn't get too crazy with switching and things like that. All right, so that is our English this week. All right, so let's move on to science. All right, so this week for science, we're talking about light, so I have some fun hand motions for you. All right, so for reflection, we're gonna get out our pretend mirror and face it towards us and say reflection. And then for refraction, that's when light bends, so we're gonna bend our arm like this. And then for spectrum, we're gonna go like this. And then for wave, we'll make our arm like a wave in the ocean like this. And then for particle, we're gonna go like this and make little particles all around. So those are our hand motions for science. All right, so for science, after we've done our hand motions and we've learned those, we're gonna do a hot lava game. So this is super easy. Just get out some red or orange construction paper, tape that down. You can laminate it. I have a great laminator listed down below if you wanna check that out in the link below, along with all my classroom tools that I love. So check those out in the description below. So what you'll do is you'll laminate these papers so they don't rip easily. You'll tape them down with painter's tape. And then what they do is each child will get to go one at a time and they'll say them, we'll help them say them with their class, and they'll jump to each one. One will say reflection, one will say refraction, but they're kind of in different areas, and we pretend like they're in hot lava and those are the rocks they have to jump through. So each child will get a turn, almost like hopscotch, but just adding a different element to it. All right, so that is our science for this week. All right, so let's move on to geography. So for geography this week, we're talking about Oceania, which I absolutely love. We've been to Australia, to the Great Barrier Reef, and it is absolutely beautiful. So I love talking about Australia. And if you've been to Australia, leave me a comment below. I would love to hear about it. Have you snorkeled on the Great Barrier Reef? It is absolutely beautiful. So I kind of got off track here. So let's talk about our geography. All right, so I like to have little tropical fish that I put on. Talking about the Great Barrier Reef, I talk about quickly how you can see that from outer space, you can see the Great Barrier Reef. How cool is that God made that? I'd love to connect it all back to the Lord and talk about how He's the great creator. All right, so I'll have my little tropical fish with the back still on them, and they'll move them around their map and talk about the different places. All right, so that's kind of fun for our geography. All right, so let's move on to Latin. All right, so for Latin this week, we're talking about pluperfect tense again. Remember we talked about how Pluto is now a dwarf planet. It used to be a planet when I was younger. And so we'll talk about how the planet Pluto is in the air. So pluperfect tense is gonna start with air. Arum to be exact, but it kind of sounds like air. All right, so for our Latin, for our fun activity, we're gonna get out some blocks. And what I like to do is we're gonna go through and sing our Latin song. And then as we're singing it, each person gets to put a block on, and we're gonna keep singing it until the blocks topple over. So we may get 10 blocks in, we may get 5 blocks in, we maybe get 20 blocks in. But it's kind of fun for them to watch them go, grow and grow and grow, and then fall down, and then we start over again and start saying our Latin. I find that they don't wanna stop singing their Latin when we do this activity, so it's kind of fun. All right, so that is the end of our new grammar. Let's talk about review. All right, so for review this week, I have a couple options for you just for some fun activities. I know I've mentioned this before, but if you haven't done it yet, I have a great Easter bingo that you can see down below in the comments. I have it linked on Amazon. It's fun. They get to answer a question and then you draw a piece out and they put it on there. That's one fun, easy activity, but I find they're really excited, especially when there's prizes involved for whoever gets a bingo. I always love that. So it's always fun for them and exciting. All right, so another fun idea for review is doing charades. I love to do this one. There's a great one linked on Amazon down below too. All right, so another fun game that I like to play is this cups game. So all it is the traditional cup stackers. So they build these, every time they answer a question, they earn a cup. Sometimes they might earn 3 cups. It depends on how many review questions they're excited about answering, and they may be getting tired, so I may need to give them more cups each time. All right, so what I'll do is they'll get to make cup towers, and I'll give them about 10 to 15 seconds each time that they get to do this after they answer the question. So it doesn't take too long, but it still is fun for them. And we'll do the tallest tower and most creative tower each time. All right, so that's kind of our fun game. And then afterwards, for the next one that they answer, they get to try to knock it down. They get 3 tries to try and knock their cup tower down by rolling a ball. So it's kind of fun, interactive. You can kind of add things, take things away, and just kind of make it fun for your class. So that's a fun one we like to do as well. I also love this one. So since it's Easter time, a fun one that I have heard about and that I've used over the years is on your board you make an Easter scene. You might have a cross, you might have a chapel, you might have some eggs out or a bunny or something like that. And then each kid a dry erase marker, and they get to draw a little part of the scene after they've answered the questions. So that's the one that's really easy. All right, and so for one more idea is the traditional dart game. You just draw a dartboard onto your whiteboard. So you might draw a circle with 50 and then 200 and then 300 or whatever points you want to do. You bring a dart gun, they get to answer a question, and then they shoot the board and try to see how many points they get. And you make it a class initiative. If we get 500 points, the next time I will bring a cookie treat. Something fun like that gets them excited. So I hope you've enjoyed these review games. If you have a review game that has worked wonderfully for your class, would you please leave a comment below? Oh my word, I love sharing ideas and hearing from you anytime, so please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear about it. All right, so don't miss out. I want you to start asking questions. You can leave me questions down below for homeschooling. I'm gonna be doing my live in the next few weeks, hopefully, if we can get that started. And I really wanna hear from you. So tell me what your questions are as far as homeschooling or things that you would like me to discuss during that time. I would love to hear about it. And don't forget to check out the links in the description. There's Spanish curriculum reviews, there's science curriculum reviews, there's writing curriculum reviews, there's so many different reviews, so don't forget to check those out. Also, let me know, what will you be doing in the summer? Are you one that likes to plan for the next year during the summer? Do you homeschool through the summer, or do you just take off completely? Let me know in the comments below. All right, I will see you next time. Goodbye.